Yo, yo, yo. We working the Title 22 United States Code Section 141 to 143. Repealed August 1st, 1955. 1956. Sorry about that. Let's just go over this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead on and this has to do with Morocco. All right. Um, this was the Act August 1st, 1965. Repealed Section 141 to 143, effective upon a date which the President determined to be appropriate for the relinquishing of jurisdiction of the United States and Morocco. Jurisdiction of the United States and Morocco was relinquished by memorandum of President Eisenhower, dated September 15, 1956. Notice was given to Morocco. All right, why they keep saying Morocco? Because the United States was Morocco. Why would the president relinquish jurisdiction in Morocco? Why the president dealing with Morocco? Why we have a date here saying that the jurisdiction was relinquished? Why is he doing? Why did Eisenhower relinquish jurisdiction on this day? Right? Because the United States is the Moroccan, and a part is not the Moroccan Empire, as in the head dynasty, but it's connected. It is all of the Moroccan Empire's land. America was conquered by the empire, and all of that land was underneath that dominion, underneath that providence, underneath that majesty. Alright? So they relinquished jurisdiction, and all pleading cases were disposed of by 1960. So they did this act, and then they disposed of all the cases that was pertaining before it was relinquished. They dissolved the case law, right? So yeah, y'all gotta go. Yeah, this is, he will tell you right up in here. Section 141 RS, Section 4083. These are all the sections. Date, look, 1878, chapter. Look, related to the judicial authority generally of ministers and councils. The Moorish American Consulate. Right? They try to take the consulates down. Right? That's supposed to be representing the empire. Because they had their own courts. So they relinquished jurisdiction to take away the authority in the courts. The way that people used to plead back then, in proprio persona. So he stopped he relinquished jurisdiction, and he dissolved the cases related to the judicial authority generally of ministers and councils in China, Siam, Turkey, Morocco, Muscat, right? Yeah. Formerly part of the Ottoman Empire, including Egypt. All of this, and territories. The Ottoman Empire. That was us. Egypt. That's quote unquote black folk. That's quote unquote indigenous. That's your blood. These people, the Ottoman Empire is a Moorish American bloodline. Yeah. Yeah. Related to the general criminal jurisdiction of ministers and councils of the United States. Section 143 RS, Section 4085, related to general jurisdiction of ministers and councils of the United States have been used in civil cases. Yeah, he relinquished jurisdiction. Eisenhower, the president, he tried to cut everything off. He got rid of the caseload. There was a court set up for Moors. Then they started driving us back into these blood banks, these blood bank courts, right? Well, we have no representation, no tax, no representation on our tax, no representation on who we are, you know? So we have to be connected back to the bloodline in order to receive any type of inheritance. This is a big thing. He shut Morocco down when he relinquished jurisdiction. And he outlawed the case law, they disposed of the case law along with the bankruptcy and all of this. Alright? So yeah, you know, it's deep. So go check out Title 22 United States Code, Section 141 to 143. When President Eisenhower relinquished jurisdiction. And he actually gave that notice to Morocco on October the 6th, 1956. And every case that was pertaining to that whole empire was done away with. Why did Eisenhower do that? Ask yourself that question. Because this land was originally for that blood lineage of people way before colonization. You know, this way before Christopher Columbus. You know, we know the world history and what happened and how people evolved around the world. Okay? That's why we research, right? So, at the end of the day, check that out. I'm Maurice Bay. Didn't want this video to be lengthy, but sometimes they happen like that. None of this stuff is scripted. I speak from my heart. I really, you know, think that, it's a good thing to be able to even know and understand, because a lot of people don't understand this. You know, you're noble when you understand. You know, I'm a real prince. I'm a real person who, you know, who's willing to say what need to be said, and not just that, understand it and applying what I know and helping people, giving it back to the people. Because most people won't touch situations like this because they're heavy, you know. And I really don't care too much, you know, given where I come from. You know, it can't be no heavier than where I come from. You know, and where I come from is the bottom. So, you know, my story is impeccable. You know what I mean? And like Mike Tyson said, you know, it's really up there. You know, and you'll get my story. And but like I said, for right now, let's focus on these cases. Let's focus on these titles. Let's focus on what's really taking place in America and in our government, and not just that, in different governments across the world. Because everybody got to be held accountable. You got to really care about the people. Either your government and you're gonna protect the people, or you got to stand down and get out. One of the two. You know what I'm saying? You got to, you know, it's just like the people put them in office, and the people can remove them. So, you know, it's supposed to be here to secure the people's birth rights, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And nobody don't want to say that. Nobody don't want to acknowledge that. Why you don't want people to be educated? You know, this is what educated is being about. Is knowing things are a fact. You know, so all the people that's and you look at education is a multi-billion-dollar business. And why you have so many people undereducated? And not just saying educated, but so you're saying with a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a type of PhD. That's not the education that I'm talking about. I'm talking about educated on the fact of knowing and common sense. You know what I mean? This is common sense. There's no sense higher than common sense. You know what I mean? And it's wrong or right. You know what I mean? And it's true or false. And it's simple as that. You need to go to Harvard to be able to understand mathematics. No, you don't. You need to go to do any curriculum to jump through more hoops. You don't. You need to understand what nature is, and everything is driven through that. And you understand what nature is, you can really understand the rest of it, because all of it in every industry is driven by the creator and nature. So we learn nature, and that's the highest sense you're going to ever be able to come to, and anything else is visions and God putting protection and coverage over you so you can see things. And that's stuff like clairvoyance and stuff like that. Being able to see things that's not, right there in front of your eyes, being able to know things. So I'm Maurice Bate, and I'm out.